Hello and welcome to Talking Events, the industry podcast brought to you by Event Industry News. Today being recorded from the Victory Services Club in the heart of London, right at the top of Park Lane, just opposite Hyde Park. A beautiful building, a beautiful facility, and something well worth looking into. www.vsc.co.uk is their website, and big thanks to Mark Field and all the team here at the Victory Services Club for letting us set up the Talking Events studio. Joining us on the line today, we welcome back to Talking Events Andrew Harrison, Director of the Event Supplier and Services Association. Andrew, welcome to the podcast.
Hello there, how are you?
Very well, thank you. Thanks for joining us today. And we're going to be talking a little bit about this year's ESSA Conference. Why don't I throw it straight back over to you to explain what's going to be a little bit different about the event this year?
Okay, so we decided this year, so every year, every conference has a theme. And I suppose some people would think I was being a bit lazy by calling it the conference of things. I suppose somewhere meeting in the middle. I couldn't quite, come up with that nugget of information or the common theme throughout everything. And I think sometimes conferences can be quite restrictive in that they say, well, we're a sales conference or we're a marketing conference. And our membership and our industry is, it's a very broad church. And so in many ways, I wanted it to be a conference which attracted all people of all levels, in all various positions, from the supplier community, and also, the venue and the organizer community as well. And there would be something there for everybody.
Is there a danger when taking that approach and deciding to try and do something for everybody that you'll dilute any form of message in there, or are you confident that there's going to be enough content in there to service all these different facets of the industry?
So absolutely, that was probably the biggest worry. I think the key to it is when you do that, you do put yourself under some additional pressure. But that additional pressure makes you look at the conference format and say, well, rather than having a few strong sessions or a strong session in the morning and a strong session in the afternoon, that every session has to be a 10 out of 10 or as close to a 10 out of 10 as you can be. So I think the history of a lot of conferences is that there's a lot of peaks and troughs. So it either hits a 9 or a 10 out of 10, or it's down at the bottom, and that's sometimes the accepted theme. I think by doing this, it's actually enabled us to look at lots of very high quality speakers and sessions and go for the very best that is out there without having to almost feel restricted to trying to fit people into a theme. So I actually think it's helped us put on a better day.
I can hear the enthusiasm and the confidence, certainly, in your tone that this year is going to be excellent, and you're confident in the content and just what it's going to deliver. There are two trains of thought when it comes to sourcing speakers for any type of event. Whether or not to look at their content in advance and work with them on the content, or put your faith completely in the quality of speaker that you've booked. How have you balanced that this year to make sure and to give you the confidence that you seem to have in the content that's going to be delivered?
So we from membership feedback and from attendee feedback, there is a definite requirement for speakers who can bring something in from an external industry. Mm-hmm. And speakers from within the industry. So what we've done this year is actually, without trying to sound overly confident, is hit that balance 50-50. So 50% of our speakers are going to be talking about our external influences. So we've got our keynote speaker is a gentleman called Simon Hartley, who's spent his entire working career coaching professional sportsmen, women, blue chip businesses in how to unlock world-class potential. So here's a guy who's worked with F1 teams, Premier League football teams, Premier Rugby teams, in trying to unlock those key elements, those secrets, that those moments within each person or within each business which helps you excel. And then kind of bookmarking the end of the day, we have an ex-Olympic athlete in Derek Redmond, who again is such an inspirational figure. Comes with a recommendation from Barack Obama, so there's you can't get much higher than that.
And Derek Redmond was the guy, just to sort of put it into perspective, he was the guy I seem to remember who was carried over the line at the Olympics by his father.
Yeah. No, indeed. So, and then in between, there are industry speakers. There are panel sessions. There are panel sessions with regards to the organizer-supplier venue relationship, and then there's other sessions with regards to innovation within our industry, and not just from a technical point of view or a technology point of view. We're talking about innovation across the board. So even from let's talk about stand builders. How are stand builders innovating? It might be on a material level, it might be on a design level.
Mm-hmm.
So again, although we are talking potentially about the use of technology within live events, such as apps or new ways of gathering data.
Sure.
We're trying to look at everything within that session, and then we've got industry stalwarts and industry legends such as Phil Saw, who's going to speak and try and make sense of all the industry data and information which is out there, and try to put forward a few trends in terms of where we are now and where we're looking to be going in certain areas and sectors within the next 5 to 10 years. And I think, in 2016, it wouldn't be a conference without having some form of an economist there. So we've got a lecturer who'll be coming in, who's many years spent with the Bank of England, lecturing at London Economics School, and so on. And his whole session is going to be talking about how the Brexit relates to us specifically as an events industry, and also then going down into some granularity with regards to the types of businesses and the size of businesses that will be in attendance on the day. And there are other sessions without going into too much detail.
And one of the things I wanted to ask you is, as an association and personally, do you feel the pressure when putting together this event, given that it's an event for event professionals themselves? It's like the musician going to watch a band, and being overly critical of what they see on stage. Is that felt by the association, and is there that added pressure of making sure that everything is perfect because you're dealing with event professionals as your delegates?
Hugely. Hugely. I think even my colleagues at the AEV, the Venue Association, and the AEO, the organisers, I think it's very enjoyable. Don't get me wrong, and trying to hit these high standards is enjoyable, and it stretches every member of each team. But I think we'd be lying if we didn't say it's also quite a stressful operation to a point, because as you said, these are people who are spending every working day within the events industry at many conferences, seeing many speakers, and how you dress an event, and how technology is moving along. And I suppose in a way we are under pressure to be able to bring a flavour of that to the day as well. I think it's impossible to please everybody. So as you said, although our conference this year is trying to be as broad almost as our membership is, I think we know there every session isn't going to be to everybody's liking, but we'll give it a damn good go.
And tell us about the venue this year. Where is it? How has it been sourced, and what's it going to offer?
So we're going back to the Ricoh Arena. So we've had our conference at the Ricoh Arena, Coventry we had it there last year. We had it there about 4 years ago. As a venue, it's really centrally located for our members. So our members are very much spread up and down the country, with a clustering, majority clustering kind of within the southeast, and Greater London, and then kind of from Birmingham towards Manchester. So it's kind of like an hour and a half from I would say about 70-80% of our population or within that. So it serves as a really good central hub. We're very good friends as an industry with the current managing director there, Andy Gibb, who's he was worked at GES previously, and was very happy to welcome us there again as his guests. And obviously Andy Gibb is a current he's one of the directors of the AEV, sits on their board now. And so generally when we're looking to source venues for our conference, we look to the venues who are within the venue association. And because we host lots of meetings throughout the year up and down the country, we've developed these relationships. They've also got a lot of space there, which I think, there's the obvious spaces, but we're actually going for something which is slightly different than we've used before. And we're going to try and do a few. We're try and work the lighting this year to turn something which I suppose on the face of it is a bit of a blank canvas. I'm going to try and do something quite exciting with it this year. It's quite stripped back, and we're going to try and dress it and use lighting to bring it to life.
I suppose, again, going back to the fact that this is an event for event professionals, you have to strike that balance in getting the fundamentals correct and making sure that you're delivering a slick, on-time, well-run event, but also putting a bit of wow factor in there as well to show that, you know, as an association, you can almost lead the way. How have you developed that side? Who have you worked with on developing the creative elements of it, and how do you go about then executing that to make sure everything stays on time and you don't overly complicate the process?
Okay, so the execution side of things is done completely internally. We don't use any external support systems or agencies. So that is executed internally by myself, Christine, our event manager, Kay in marketing, and Simon in our sales and accounts team, in terms of helping to execute and build up to the day. And then on the day, I don't think there's been an ESSA conference which has taken place which hasn't run to time, and speakers have executed their sessions on time, and we've moved through and had a great day. In terms of the inspiration to lift the day off the canvas, we speak to representatives on the ESSA board. So there is an events committee. There are people on the ESSA board who have a particular interest in the association event side of things. So they have a keen interest in how we deliver the AGM, how do we deliver the golf day, and how we deliver the conference. So when we're trying to put on a show and a conference and an experience for our members, we are talking to our members by the board representatives. And of course, when we get our membership feedback and we do our account management visits, we're speaking to our members on a regular basis. It's constantly getting feedback. What is it you want to hear? How can we make the next conference the one that not only you turn up to, but you bring your sales team to, you bring your marketing team, your operational team. And so we very much rely on the inspirational side of things from the feedback and from those creatives within our industry. What we're very good at as an association. No, absolutely. And what we're very good at as an association is actually delivering it. I think if we all gave up our jobs tomorrow here, we'd probably be able to go and find a job in an ops department of some organizer, I'm sure.
Absolutely. When you mentioned about the inspiration and the creativity side of things, how are you delivering the message and the content of the conference in advance of it taking place? What methods are you using to actually get that word out there in advance, so that by the time the event comes around itself, people are really excited about being there, and more importantly, are perhaps familiar with what content is going to be on offer, so that they make sure that they don't miss out on anything?
Okay, so initially it's launched to members, so that's a campaign via the press, via print and via digital. All of our members receive that personal digital invite to begin with. We move through a process of running a campaign of going into detail regarding each speaker, so that we can try to build some excitement around individual sessions. We've promoted this event for the first time this year to a wider audience. So we're actually inviting organisers and venues and anyone else who's interested in our industry to come and meet a collective of event suppliers on one day. Meet your future clients, meet those people who are working in your venues, meet those people who are building your exhibitions, building your conferences, building your events. And we'll go down the tried and trusted route of digital marketing to reach our audience. We'll talk about it whenever and wherever we can. Thank you for this opportunity. This 10-minute soundbite. We'll actually reach a community that we've not been able to reach before. Because for a long time, the ESSA conference has purely for members, but we do want to broaden it. We do want, we want to invite, a wider community of people who've never experienced the ESSA conference before. I would say it is a unique experience. It's not like, because the majority of people who are there are in the same business. And they've known each other for a long time. It's a really warm an enjoyable kind of atmosphere throughout the day. And it's a lot of old friends meeting up. Somebody used the word frenemy the other day in terms of there's lots of friends in this industry, but they're already also competitors. But it's amazing how they can come together on a day like this and share interests, share best practice, and have a chit chat about how the golf going at the weekend and stuff like that.
Just to clarify, you mentioned that initially the marketing is going to be done and the messages are going to be communicated to the members of the Event Supplier and Services Association. But is the conference itself open to anybody within the events industry? Just for clarification, anybody listen to this? Could they just sign up and register?
Correct, absolutely. You don't have to be a member of ESSA. You don't have to be a member of the AEO or of AV. All ESSA members do get a free ticket. It's part of their membership. It is one of their perks. And I think looking at it, if I was looking at this as a conference that someone independently was running, you'd be easily paying £400 or £500 for this as a ticket. So I think it serves as a very good value for money for our members that they all get one delegate place. But in the same instance, the cost of the event for non-members is £250, so it's not an extortionate amount of money. If you're a member of the AEO or a member of the AEV, it's £150, and that includes the evening after party as well. So once the conference is finished, we have a break for a couple of hours, and then we move into the evening, which will consist of live music, dancing, and food and drink, and the evening networking side of things. And then I think once we're done, they open the doors directly onto a casino, if that's your kind of thing.
And that's all where the real business is done.
Well, that's what people keep telling me, yeah. Of course, I'm usually tucked up in bed, obviously.
Absolutely, and we wouldn't suggest anything otherwise, Andrew.
No,
Give us the important details. When is it, and how do people find out about it if they want to register?
Okay, so it's on the 24th of November at the Ricoh Arena, Coventry. And ultimately, to find out all the information from speaker bios to why you should come, videos that you guys very kindly did for us in previous years, in terms of hearing it from the delegate mouth, is all available via essa.uk.com/conference.
And I'm sure the videos that you alluded to that Event Industry News recorded, I think a couple of years ago now at one of the previous conferences at the Stadium MK, are also available on eventindustrynews.co.uk, which could perhaps give people a little bit of a feel about the type of speakers, the type of delegates, and what goes on at the conference. But I'm sure,
yeah, absolutely. Don't trust me.
In the couple of years, things have probably moved on, and certainly by what you've told us today, things have moved on at a great pace, and this looks set to be an excellent conference.
Indeed, and I've just realised I've missed a little bit off that URL. It's /conference 2016. I do apologise.
Not a problem at all. I'm sure people will be able to find it. Put into your search engines, ESSA Conference 2016, Ricoh Arena. Yep. You'll find it without a doubt. Andrew Harrison, Director from ESSA, thanks very much for joining Talking Events today.
No, it's a pleasure. Thank you for the opportunity.
No problem at all. Best of luck with the conference. Nice to speak to you as always. Thanks for listening to this episode of Talking Events. My name's James Dixon. Find out more about the conference by going on to eventindustrynews.co.uk or searching for the ESSA website.